You know that feeling when something just doesn't sit right? You can't explain it. It's not what you see, it's what you feel. That crawling sense that something around you is wrong. I ignored that feeling once. And for the rest of my life, I wish I hadn't. If you've ever had that gut-deep chill that told you something's not right, hit that like button. Because tonight's story will make you trust your instincts again. This one's real. And it still keeps me up some nights. I'd been working at that job for 12 years. The kind of place that feels more like muscle memory than work. Every morning, same route, same gas station coffee. Same parking spot in that open lot behind the strip plaza. It wasn't company parking. Technically, it was open to the public. But everyone who worked there knew that back corner belonged to me. Even my manager used to joke, if someone parks in your spot, they'd better have a death wish. That morning, I got in around 4 a.m. for the opening shift. The air was heavy with summer humidity, that sticky southern heat that already feels like it's pressing down on you before sunrise. But when I pulled into the lot, my spot was gone. A dark Cadillac sat there instead. Tinted windows, so black, you couldn't see the outline of the seats inside. At first, I just sat there staring, engine idling, irritation bubbling up like a slow boil. Who the hell? Everyone knew that was my space. It wasn't one of our people. I knew every car that came and went on the early shift. I parked a few spots down, muttering under my breath, trying to shake it off. But something about that car just felt off. Like the air around it was heavier. By lunch, the heat was brutal. The kind that makes the asphalt shimmer and the air smell like burnt rubber. I walked past the Cadillac again on my way to grab a sandwich. And that's when I caught it. That smell. Sickly sweet, rotting, thick enough to taste in the back of your throat. I gagged. It wasn't just garbage. It was organic. Like something dead had been trapped inside too long. I told myself it was probably just a dead animal. Maybe someone left food in the trunk. Still, the thought it might be something else crawled into my mind like a splinter and refused to leave. The next day, the same car, same spot, same smell, and nobody ever came for it. By day 3, I couldn't stop watching it. Every time I stepped outside for a smoke break, I'd glance over, expecting someone to walk up and unlock it. No one ever did. It just sat there, quiet, still, baking in the heat. The smell had spread by then. You could smell it halfway across the lot. My coworkers started joking about the mystery meat in the Cadillac. I tried to laugh, but it didn't sit right. See, my dad used to be a Marine and later a police officer. And he drilled one thing into me since I was a kid. If something feels wrong, son, it probably is. I could almost hear his voice in my head as I stood there, staring at that car. So, I swallowed my pride and called the non-emergency police line. I felt stupid doing it. I even told the dispatcher, look, I'm probably overreacting. It just smells bad, that's all. They told me to stay put. So I waited and waited. An hour later, a patrol car finally pulled up. The 2 officers looked exhausted. You could tell they'd had a long day of chasing down parking complaints and noise calls. One of them sighed and said, so, someone's in your spot? I wanted to crawl under a rock. Yeah, but it's been here for days, and it smells off. He shrugged, then typed the license plate into his onboard computer. I was expecting an eye roll, maybe a warning not to waste their time. But that's not what happened. The officer's expression froze. Then he looked at his partner, eyes sharp. Call it in. Now. Suddenly, the whole energy changed. They told me to stand back. One asked for my name, my manager's contact info, if there were any cameras in the lot. That creeping unease I'd felt for days turned into a full-body chill. I asked what was going on, but they didn't answer. They just stared at that car like it had started breathing. Then one of them popped the trunk. The smell hit us first, thick, suffocating, impossible to escape. One officer gagged, turned away. And under a dirty gray blanket was the body of a teenage girl. Her skin was pale, bruised. Her limbs twisted in unnatural ways. Her hair was matted with dried blood. I took a step back, bile rising in my throat. The world around me narrowed to a ringing in my ears and the thudding of my own heart. The officers radioed frantically. They pulled up crime scene tape, blocked off the lot, called in detectives. And I just stood there, staring. That car. That spot. All week, I'd walked past her. All week, I'd smelled her. And I did nothing. Later, I found out who she was. A 15-year-old girl from 3 counties over. She'd been reported missing 2 days before I called the cops. Apparently, she'd gone out with her older boyfriend, the kind of man who hides insecurity behind control. She'd told him she wanted to end things. That's when he snapped. He tortured her, killed her, then drove that Cadillac to my town, parked it in my spot, and walked away, left her there, like trash. They found him a week later, holed up in a motel, trying to bleach the blood out of his clothes. When I heard, I didn't feel relief. I just felt hollow. Because I couldn't stop thinking, what if I'd called sooner? What if I hadn't brushed off that gut feeling the first day? Would she have still been alive? Some nights, I wake up drenched in sweat, convinced I can still smell that decay in the air. Sometimes, when I park my car, I check my trunk just to make sure nothing's there. They say the mind forgets smells over time, but that one never fades. Now every time I catch the faintest whiff of something rotten in the summer heat, my stomach twists, and I remember her. So, if your gut ever whispers that something's wrong, listen, because it might just save someone's life. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments. Have you ever had a gut feeling that turned out to be right? Don't ignore that little voice inside you. And don't forget to subscribe, because some of the scariest stories out there are the true ones.